Ooh, hello, whoa, 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 whoa. Hello. What that say? Oh, lo-fi. Lo-fi Lo-fi coffee. So if you can hear anything, I have a 4K lo-fi hip-hop beats, 24/7 radio, no copyright lo-fi beats to sleep/study to by the channel Lo-Fi Geek in the background. I might turn it off. I just turned it up. So I want to use. I'm bare table today because I don't know where my little table covering thing is. 1 second. I don't know if it like fell behind my laptop. Don't look like it. Yeah. So I'm gonna use the SKT first, and then the Vitruvian edition first, and then I'm gonna go in with the Revelation edition to clarify and just see if I don't know. I'm gonna leave it open to see if it's a matter of misconception, number one, or breaking something down and making it more simple. Number two, maybe it'll be two like opposing things. I don't know, but we'll see. I got like no sleep last night. For some reason, like, when you're like laying in bed, half asleep, like about to fall asleep, my brain would just like not turn off. And it was all this stuff. I'm just like, what? Like, please let me sleep. Like, I literally laid in bed for over an hour just awake for seemingly no reason. And then I got to work today and I told somebody else, and she said, ooh, the warrior, which is the sun. I feel like I've seen this card with the necromancer at the bottom of the deck. That's the sun and the moon. And under the necromancer is the Hector, 5 of Swords. Five of Swords, 5 of Pentacles. Archangel of Healing. Okay. But yeah, I talked to somebody else at work, and she said that she was telling her husband that, like, she slept, but she didn't feel like she did. Like, she felt like she was awake in her sleep. And then somebody else said that they were tired. I was like, I don't know what's going on. All I know is my brain would not shut off last night. I mean, I ended up falling asleep watching the premiere of Russ and Cindy. I fell asleep at like the end of it though, and then I woke up and on my TV it's just like over, and I was like, oh crap! But I still felt tired, so I don't know why I couldn't go to sleep. Okay. The warrior with the necromancer at the bottom of the deck. Sun in Pisces. Luke's something Lucaeot. Omnia Lucae Profundit. Liberas. I know Omnia is all Luke's, Lukey, Luke's, Lucas, Lukey, Lukin, Luke. That's all light. Perfundit. I don't know. Libertas is probably free. The Necromancer in this deck has a parting of the veil. And then there's an energy here of the jackals that represent Anubis chained to each other. So it's like things that can't die or things that can't pass on to the other side. And then the warriors here, which almost would give an energy. I feel like it would be more like training. Mr. Odinson, how are you? Did you get my message? Did you see the thing I sent you? Woo! It made me think of you for some reason. Oh, they got organic cola. What's an organic cola? What? Organic ginger ale? Well, I guess they made cola on Dr. Stone, so it's possible. It could have an element of like training to it. Things that continue to come back, where we get stronger every time, and I guess they would. Or maybe there's something about it that we're not getting. And that's why it keeps coming back. Master of the Mystic Light, Gateway of Resurrection. Yeah, so with the Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck, it is kind of sort of that energy. It's like we're really quick to put something to bed. We're really quick to like not necessarily be defensive, but it feels like there's a depth to the thing that we continue to miss. Eve! Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. I also wonder, like, low key, oh, there goes my phone and my mouse. I could relate to it a little bit. Eve, I have been not really here. I haven't been here as much as I was in the past, for sure. I kind of miss being here. Kind of. I feel like I've just been like, what have I been doing? I've been chilling, taking it easy, kind of resting, playing games, watching anime. I've caught up on a few shows, um, and just like I don't know, because I had this feeling that I was gonna have to be like all of me, but I don't think I necessarily knew what that meant at the time. And I've been sort of figuring it out within the past week. Um, and it's like, it's not exhausting, but it's like, I feel like I'm going to have to be more me, like all the time. And just the thought of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds so tiring. Like, what? But I think it also, I don't know. How do I? Because like I could see it in work, for example. Because I feel like it's not that I'm not performing at work. I feel like I could be doing more. Um, there are like a lot of like thoughts or ideas that I have that I don't necessarily communicate. So last week, one day, I took the opportunity to do that. And I think I kind of talked about it, or I meant to talk about it, but I got lost on a tangent. And I don't know if I ever made it back to it. And in other ways, in other areas and sectors, I think it's for me to be more of myself as well. Um, and I feel like I'm such like an all over type of person that I'm never not necessarily being me, but I don't always have to be like every part of me. You know what I mean? And then like even in this space, it's gonna mean something that I'm still somewhat unpacking. I don't know. Yeah, I started to mention it because then I was like, oh, and like Rob said something the other day or something, and it made me think that. One second. Can you see me? No. Okay. It made me think that it's not necessarily like it's just like there are moments and instances where it's like I'll get an impulse to do something or to like say something or communicate something. I'll get a thought, two brain cells will like rub together, and then I'll get a spark. And I'm like, oh, it mostly happens like 24 to 72 hours after something happens. And then the next day or the day after that, it'll like, I'll come back to my room and then it'll just like hit me. Um, but it's very like situational. It's very in the moment. It's never like, I don't know. It's like something will happen and it's like instead of not saying anything, say something. Sometimes I do go out of my way a little bit. Sometimes I am a little brave. And it pays off. Um, and like I was at work the day before yesterday or yesterday. Now sometimes when I'm at work, like I see stuff out of the corner of my eye. Sometimes when I'm not at work, I see stuff out of the corner of my eye. But I noticed at work either yesterday or the day before, I saw something out of the corner of my eye and I didn't like jump. I wasn't like nervous or scared. And then I was like, oof. Oh my gosh, no, what does this mean? Um, and I don't think I've really been processing anything. I feel like while I'm awake, I'm not. I feel like I've had an interesting dream. How you doing? Don't encourage me, Rob. For anyone who's wearing headphones, I apologize. Like, I don't think. But I had a dream about something the other day. Yesterday was just like weird. Yesterday was so weird. Well, I am glad to give it to you, girl. You're welcome, Rob. That was for you too. I'm kidding. Um, yeah, I'm good. I have very little to complain about, and so we'll talk at some point. Um, I've been brave at work. I think another thing, I don't know if it's the Libra in me or if it's just me. Um, but I feel like in some like very non-directly related way, I feel like there's some. Well, it could be the Pisces. It's a few things in my chart. Like everything in my chart, basically everything in my chart is connected. Like I got aspects all over. Um, Another thing I've been like, because Russ did his series of the zodiac houses, and it made me appreciate my chart like so much. Like I'm glad to have a Taurus moon with my Pisces sun, but to also sometimes like have an Aries Venus. Um, I'm just like I feel like I got a nice balance going on when I can do something. Um, but like I talked about it the last time, like I'm becoming more sensitive again to a certain individual in particular. I'm also finding that like the day before Thanksgiving was rough. I was mad. I walked off the job for like 10 minutes. I went back, talked to HR, had a whole conversation in front of HR, reached an understanding. And I don't think I'd like at that time in that moment, there was no way for me to know all that I would have gained from that interaction and from that day. That definitely served me in some very practical ways and some very relational ways as well. And I don't know, that was interesting, but what? Oh no, not the power shutting you down. No. They said not yet. They said they're not ready. Well, I did watch Reem. I did watch Russ and Cindy, and Mercury was up to some tricks, and so maybe it was Mercury. I don't know. I'm liking this. Well, it's the braving that counts. That's what matters. So when the power came back on, did you send it, or did you just not? It was. I did miss the first 10 minutes of it though. I think because I saw the thing, and then I was watching something, or I was playing a game, and then I looked at my phone, and it was like rustling around. Premiered 10 minutes ago. I was like, oh snap! So I put it on my TV, and then I like I fell asleep. Done that. That was me Wednesday. I was like, I feel like you're being intentionally misleading. And I don't mind being a team player, but I'm not going to be the only person on the team playing. I was like, the divine will provide me another job. I don't need this that bad. But like I said, like, because I kind of have that moment, I was able to talk and voice some things. And what's really interesting is that there were some things that I was concerned about with her that I didn't talk to her about, but I still noticed after I had that exchange with her, the next time we had a group meeting, she was a lot better about some stuff. And I didn't even like say anything. And I was like, wow, wow, wow. Thank you. I'm just like, I feel like a lot of times I can be agreeable. And it's like, if I don't see any reason to like not do something, then I'll do it. Like, no fuss. And I don't mind helping out. I don't mind doing a little bit extra. But I also don't mind like enforcing a boundary at all. So, but yeah, that day, it was a very coarse interaction. But again, it's like, it set the stage in some very real ways. It prepared me for a lot that I feel like if it would have went down any other way, it's almost like if the sequence of events would have happened any differently. Like if I wouldn't have said anything and just did it and just swallowed whatever, I feel like I would have probably blown up last week. If I would have just left and not come back, I probably wouldn't have had a job. Well, I don't think they would have let me go. But she definitely would have been able to twist the story because she was already trying to do that. I said, nah, no, that's no. At no point was this happening. My Mercury might be in Pisces in my 12th house retrograde, but I know how to communicate sometimes, somewhat effectively. Um, but, and then because of that, because I was like, I don't understand why I have to be trained on this now. I don't understand why I have to do this now. Like, I have 10 other things I can be doing. I shouldn't even be doing this. Like, you should be out here doing this. You should be stepping up because you're the one in charge and you're the one who made hiring decisions and choices. And like, I still got a job to do. But she was like, we're going to train today. We're going to train today. And I was like, fine. But last week, the person ended up calling sick. So it's actually a good thing that she trained me on the previous week because then I was able to do it by myself last Friday. Because my whole thing was like, it doesn't have to be done this week. We can do it when we have more time. But the next time it had to be done, there was no time. And I feel like that was a little bit because I am who I am. I interpret dreams, I interpret reality, I interpret everything. Um, and so that was like a real world, like it was an unpleasant situation. You thought that like there would have been a later day, a later time. Little did you know, like the next time you were going to have to do it by yourself. So although you have to spend time with somebody that you didn't want to see because you already talked to her earlier in the day, and I was set up. I was set up because I had a dream the night before that. The night before that, I had a dream that I just like blew up on her. I had that dream, and then I had to talk to her earlier in the day, and then I had to go out with her. After I had to talk with her, I was like, I'm gonna avoid her. I couldn't avoid her. And I was just like, I can't do this. I gotta go. I'm taking a half day. I'm gone. And I literally just like left. And she was like, I'm your supervisor. You can't just do this. I said, I'm gone. I said, bye. But again, like little did I know, like that conversation would have opened the door for so many things. Now we did like have a conversation in front of HR. So shout out to Libra Energy. There was a mediator there the second time. Um, and again, it's like I didn't even know that what 9 days later I would be expected to do everything by myself because of circumstances. And I feel like that's been a really big thing in my life right now. Especially like with work, it's unforeseen circumstances and handling unforeseen circumstances and trying to like manage my time and do everything that I was already doing. And so again, it's like then because of unforeseen circumstances, the plan had shifted and changed. And the only reason why I went to her in the first place was because of unforeseen circumstances. I was like, I don't know if we're going to have the time to do this today. So you're going to have to help us. And she was like, well, it has to be done. It has to be done. I was like, okay, well, you're going to have to help or you're going to have to do it because we busy. And like, there's been a lot of unforeseen, and it was because of unforeseen circumstance again that I had to do it by myself a week later. And so it is very like, I don't even know. Drugs and what? Wait, what? Hold up. I gotta read. Bad management can make or break a job, and good coworkers can make or break a job too. I love like all of my coworkers, and they're the reason why. One of them texted me. They were like, you might want to cool down and then come back." I feel like most of my bosses and managers have been good though. Like the one I have now is the only one I've ever had that I've had problems with. Like there have been coworkers that I didn't like, but all of my managers and supervisors and bosses besides this one, like I've liked. And I thought I was really gonna like her at the beginning. And I'm learning to soften up a little bit. Cause I am soft. I can be a softie. I can be very not soft. Um, but whenever there's someone who like doesn't have the same that doesn't have like an easy social interaction or whatever, easy social circumstance, like if someone doesn't have a lot of friends or if like everyone ignores somebody, then like that kind of like gets me a little bit. I'm like, well, let me be extra nice. So, but anyway, yeah, that's true though. Shout out to Reams Good Manager. A old school bully type. No. No. Rob. Ah! I feel like you're not supposed to leave an electronic trail when you talk about stuff like that, but oh snap! I guess that could be a little of this energy too, though. That could be a little bit of the sun and the moon, the warrior and the necromancer, unforeseen circumstance, partial understandings, and what it leads to. Yeah, you just oh, so wait, is that like reverse psychology? Are you saying that you'd be a bad one to like throw us off so that if it ever happens, like you're removing all of the suspicion right now? I'm on you. I'm there. I see you. Like, oh no, I meant I'd be terrible. No, like I wouldn't ever do that. And it's like what Rob said, like he would be like a terrible hitman. Like Rob said he wouldn't do it. Is that a Scorpio Skywalker mind trick? I'm just playing. I got these twin snakes. Haribo's kind of trash, low key. I'm sorry, this video isn't sponsored by some other gummy company. But Haribo, I've never had a Haribo that was like fresh. But they said twin snakes, and I was like, oh, one sour, one is sweet. Oh, yeah, you're right. Might be one on the desk. You might go to plant drugs and find, I don't know, some kind of weapon of the ballistic variety. So, what does this look like over here? I wouldn't be surprised if one of the heralds come out. Hmm. But yeah, that's been my life lately. Sorry. Sorry. I don't get it. So, five cards came out. Oh, his East Coast. Definitely not a good old boy. Okay. Well, if he's East Coast, if he's like Seattle, Washington, East Coast, or even like California, East Coast, wait, that's West. Like Florida, New York, maybe Maine, maybe like New Hampshire. There might already be drugs in the desk. Yeah, I know, I know. I know. I went to the right side of the country. Yeah, if it's like Florida, New York, maybe North Carolina, not so much South Carolina. If it's South Carolina, then there might still be a gun in the desk or in the truck. If it's like Maine, maybe Massachusetts, there could already be drugs. Yeah. So the cards that came out, the first one is New World Order, and I was like, oh snap! Baltimore, rats in the desk. Oof. I that's so funny. I had a box today, and I was like doing this thing with the box where I was doing this, and in my mind I was like, that's the sound of like rats rustling in the walls or something. I don't know why I did that, but now it's nice to see that rats are making a comeback. So shout out to I think the next rat year. I think we just had a rat year recently. Let's see. Is he born in a rat year? He might be a rat. Excuse me. 2020 was a rat year. Last year was a rat year. Okay. So 2034 or 2032 is going to be the next rat year. Even Florida people will be like, yep, meth. Oof. What's going on with Florida? I remember it was a thing. It was like a joke. They were like, "Is this a real headline, or is it like is it a headline from Florida, or is it fake?" And every single time it was Florida. It was never fiction. It was like Florida or fiction, and it was always Florida. My mom is hilarious. So the cards that came out, it's New World Order, which is a world card. What's it say? Crown of the Magi. And then it's the Captor, Eight of Swords. We've seen her before. And then it's the Shining Quarry, Knight of Orbs, Caverns of the Gnome. And then it's the Demon, which is the Devil. And it's battling the Typhon. That's funny. I just started playing Immortals Phoenix Rising. Cause and you fight Typhon in that game. And then it's the Gardener, Seven of Orbs. So between these two, the Pelican apparently, I think it's like a thing. Whatever this bird is, like if it can't find food for its babies, it'll like feed them its blood or something. So it's like it's pecking its own chest to feed. I don't know if I can't remember if it's like the actual bird, if it's just the card. I think she said it was the actual bird, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so there's an energy. It feels like it's coming out of the shadow. Like there's something that's sort of like inaccessible. But with this New World Order card, it's bringing it out in bits and pieces. It's not like unleashing all of it, it's like metering it out. And I noticed like there's something up with the chest on New World Order. And then in the demon card, which is the devil, we see that like the blood on the chest there is in the shape of a cup. But the cup isn't like pouring out like this is. The shiny, I mean, I would imagine that's like the solar plexus chakra. I gotta look it up. I gotta look it up. That Ministry song was popular. What? So wait, it is the. Is it a red cup or filled with red? That's a question for you. Yeah. Yeah, kind of. But I mean, Florida is still Florida. So some birds are like scary. Solar plexus chakra. Here we go. Please give me the symbols. Need the symbols. Etsy. Etsy. I do have the symbols though. I don't think that is the solar plexus. It's not the solar plexus. Is this any of the chakras? It's got the backwards three looking thing from the third eye and from the crown. But I don't know what this extra one is. It could be I think it's the crown. I think it's a stylized crown chakra, which would be extremely interesting because this is the Knight of Pentacles. And we end with the Seven of Pentacles. I mean, if I look at the card, it seems like devil energy is armored. Like devil energy is wearing armor, and that it's left open. So that's like the flesh of the creature. It's raw. It feels like without that, it would fall apart. And we do end this, or we started with the warrior card, right? It feels like this necromancer, it's about bringing something. And with the Five of Swords, I feel like ordinarily it could probably be like super harsh or way too much, which is why it's like residing in devil energy and why it's sort of like on lockdown. But with New World Order and the Shining Quarry, it's like the Nine of Pentacles is resourceful, right? So it's all about knowing how to utilize what you have at your disposal. And it feels like Knight of Pentacles would be the energy that could turn even the most toxic whatever into something medicinal. And it feels like ending with the Seven of Pentacles or the Seven of Orbs, the gardener, it's very much so about making it or turning it into a medicine. And building off of it in some way. In the bottom of the deck. Oh my gosh, look at this. I was picking the cards up. This is at the top of the deck. The warrior is at the top of the deck again. So she clarifies herself. I mean, there's obviously more color in the second one, but it also feels like in the second one, it feels like the sun is more radiant. There's a triquetra in the middle. It's almost like this thing, the mystic rose or whatever, in the middle was unlocked, and it revealed this, and like all the stuff on the outside too. And so there's an energy. There's like it's like this warrior would just be like that's her. But with this warrior, the light of this sun like wraps around the blade, and it becomes some like sword light, flamey blade, sun, whatever. And I only saw it at the top of the deck because I failed to pick it up when I picked up literally every other card. I have it bottom up right now. At the bottom of the deck is the Ebony Shield with the Wheel of Life behind it. So if this is about those what did I say? Like unforeseen circumstances and our ability to show up and be present to some degree in them. And it's almost like it's a question of like how do I want to conduct myself in this situation. It's almost like it's less of a question of like what's right and what's wrong, and it's more of a question of like how we want to handle it, how we want to show up, and what our intentions are in the moment. Because that it sets a precedent for the next time something comes up. And like it's a warrior card. There's also like a shield and a sword here. So the deck is between a shield and a sword. And it's the earth shield. The ebony shield is the sanctum of treasures. And there is a moon right there. You see the moon in the sky? The moon you can barely see. I know. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be Patrick and like, oh my gosh, Emily! I thought that was somebody else. And see, with this devil card, it's like both the phoenix and the dragon. There's like some kind of anger here or some kind of fury. I mean, it's easiest to read it as some kind of anger because they both have like red eyes and they're both sort of being influenced. So it's almost like even our better nature goes into, I don't want to say remission or retrograde, but it's like it's an opportunity to still bring the better version of ourselves forward while simultaneously still like enforcing or communicating a boundary. So it's not necessarily what is it? I don't have the cards, but I've been watching Russ, and I'm trying to figure out if this is like Cheraclo or not. Because Because I was like, I don't know if it's a graceful. All right, see you later, Remy. Remy, 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 Remy. See you later, Remy. You gotta work. Oof. I'm gonna be so glad when I finish this class. I don't know if this is necessarily like Cheraclo energy. But if I had to put a few together, I would say this is Cheraclo. I feel like I want to say Aqua Regia for some reason. I don't even remember what Aqua Regia is. There's a little bit of something that's almost Chiron, but I don't think it is. Maybe Pluto. Okay, so I could see Cheraclo and Pluto. Doesn't matter. It's just fun. I'm trying to think of the ones I've seen. It could be Eris and Mars. Would it be a square between Eris and Mars? I don't know. And the Five of Swords is here. This is the bottom of this deck. Five of Swords and Five of Pentacles. And it does, these two together, they remind me of the post that Rob just shared on his community channel, community page, the day before yesterday, question mark, about like ending up alone because of like self-love and like cutting everyone out and needing to learn like conflict resolution and stuff like that. Because with the Five of Swords energy, there is something here that's like it's just way too much. And maybe that's why it needs to be a little bit more like Cheraclo and like gracefully enforce the boundaries. And it feels like, I mean, I would be tempted to say that it's more of an energy or a person that we probably don't have a history with. But because of the history that we've had with other people, we automatically make assumptions about the new person, people, situation, job, whatever. And I'm trying to see if I see any like communication cards. And I guess like the Knight of Pentacles would be the closest thing to like a communication card that I see. And the other one is like the sun, the moon, and then the Five of Swords and the Five of Wands. So it's almost like over here too. It's almost like there isn't any communication until like a breaking point is reached. And then it's just like, oh, call me out. It's like there's no communication, there's no conversation, there's no expression of how you necessarily feel in a situation or in an environment until a boundary is crossed too many times. And so on the other side, it seems like a very extreme reaction, especially if they haven't necessarily been made aware. I don't know if I can roll my eyes any harder. If I could, I would. And again, like there's an energy of baggage here. There's an energy of like unrelated people, events, circumstances that we carry with us that again is like it makes us really reactive in some space, but not necessarily communicative. And maybe that's what this New World Order card is sort of implying. It's almost implying a certain vulnerability. It's implying a vulnerability, and it's also implying like giving someone or something the benefit of the doubt. And it's like, because like the blood from the mother pelican feeds the babies. And it's not necessarily like Knefa blood sacrifice and like the that way. It's a little bit more Knefa in terms of like we're the one not being bled because that sounds but it's like blood in terms of like vulnerability, but not necessarily extreme vulnerability, but maybe there's blood there because it's vulnerability in a space that we've previously experienced some kind of pain or slight to mild to more than that trauma. And so it's like to be vulnerable in a space like that, it's like it triggers something deep. But it feels like it'll be met. And that's like this again, like with the communication into the gardener. Like we have the gardener and we have the baby pelicans. Like that's how we sort of like get to something new. That's how we experience a new dynamic. And then above that, because I did rearrange this, it's the Eight of Swords and the demon, the captor and the demon. That's how we like when we don't talk about it, when we don't communicate it, when we only do so once we reach our breaking point, and now we're in some like Aries, Mars, not like Aries, but like Ares, Aries, like Mars, basically. Now we're in like a Martian reactive sort of mode, and it's like not great. But it also keeps us, it's almost like for all of our armor, for all of our protectiveness, it makes our wounds extremely noticeable. And it makes our vulnerabilities noticeable. And then it almost becomes a thing of like, it's like when you can tell what someone deals with, and it's like, you know, this person, whenever they're in a situation like this, they react in this way because they can't handle whatever emotion or whatever. It's like it becomes more and more obvious. Um, and it's not that it's necessarily to be hidden, but it also feels like this energy wouldn't necessarily allow for any kind of healing to take place either. The Archangel of Healing is behind the Vagabond, Five of Orbs. And behind the Ebony Shield is the Wheel of Life and the Archangel of Glory, with the Demiurge behind that. And the thing about this energy, oh, I'm taking this too. The thing about this energy, the wheel of life into the archangel of glory, into the demiurge, four of wands, it's like it puts us in control of our lives, but it puts us in control in a like not this way, because this is also an energy of control, but it's not control that necessarily comes from the lightest of spaces and places. It's a control that's very motivated by not great feelings, emotions, based on not great happening circumstances and events. But this, it comes from a different place entirely. Like it comes from this place, King of Wands, Archangel of Glory, instead of from this place. And so I feel like the energies are like, I feel like they're the same, but on this side, like on the revelation side, we're just given a lot more context, because it's like we're in moon energy with the necromancer, and we're expected to get to the sun, the warrior. And it's like, okay, so I'm supposed to be the warrior by being like super five of swords. And it's like, no, like you can do that, sure, but it's not necessarily gonna get you where you want to be, unless this is where you want to be. Then by all means, keep on. Neurotic control. Oof. I feel like I've heard that. Neuro something word lately, but I don't know. And I feel like it's like we can be a warrior either way. But again, it's like it's going back to like, what do we want to get out of the situation? And I think sometimes for some people, what they want out of the situation is control. What they want out of the situation is to feel like they're in a place of power and someone else isn't. Maybe it's motivated by something that happened to them. I've been there. What is the caverns of the gnome? What are gnomes known for? Like, if it were dwarves, like, dwarves have a very Plutonian energy, minus like death. It's like wealth, it's treasure, it's minerals, ores, the precious gemstones underground. And I was like half asleep. But in Cindy and not Cindy and Russell. I'm mixing up all the R words today. And Cindy and Russell's uh the video Hades is hell, or the hell of Hades. There's a point where Mercury came out with the King of Pentacles, I think. Or no, it came out with the Queen of Pentacles on Cindy's side. And Mercury does rule commerce, but Pluto rules wealth. And I thought that was interesting, because I was like, oh, Mercury, commerce, trade, economies, but Pluto was just like wealth. So, ain't necessarily got to buy and trade and sell and do all kinds of other stuff. You just got it. I don't know why. Oh, because the dwarves. But I don't know what gnomes do. Caverns of the Gnome. I could read it. Where the book at? It's not in here. Where's the book? Oh, it is in here. I picked up the wrong box. Yeah, Mercury was, but Mercury wasn't always the greatest. It's fine. Where? Oh, wait. Oh, hello? I'm going to have to look in the table of contents. Girl, where's the table of contents? Here it is. Okay. I need to go to page 47. Oh my gosh. Trying to find the shining quarry. Caverns of the Gnome. Slow and steady is your pace. Take time to think through every move. Be chivalrous and you will be abundantly rewarded. See, it's that part. Be chivalrous and you'll be abundantly rewarded. You are the workhorse who gets the task done. Pictured here is a Rajput, warrior in front of a reimagined Ranki Kivav. I don't know how to pronounce that. A subterranean temple and stepwell in honor of Vishnu, the preserver. His helper spirit is the gnome, who grows metals and minerals in the earth and who can help to retrieve that which was lost. The winged horse is Denarius. Take some time to review your finances and also check in on your own physical health and well-being. So that's what gnomes do. They grow metals and minerals in the earth, and they can help retrieve that which was lost. The little elves in Scandinavia, that doesn't help me at all. That doesn't help me at all. So, but thank you. I still appreciate it. There's something in this gardener card right here. And I don't know if it's some kind of nature spirit or something. But just like this, right, it catches my eye, and I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe that's a tree spirit, and the gnome is the earth, like underground spirit or something. Oh, see, the Knight of Pentacles of the gnome. The caverns of the gnome, I guess, would be the place where the ores and minerals are made, where they're grown. But the part where they help find what was lost, and then we have the Ebony Shield Sanctum of Treasures. That reminds me in the Yggdrasil. Oh, there's a card in the Yggdrasil Norse divination cards. There's someone, it's like a dwarf, I think, that guards some kind of treasure or something. I don't think it's Dari. What? You watched the new Netflix show Elves and it was so cheesy. Was it like good cheesy though? I caught someone say the other day it's better to be a workhorse than a show horse. Who said that? Because I feel like show horses do less. Show horses do less and get more, but I can appreciate the life of a show horse. Unless it's not great, then it's like oof. You know what I mean? It's like it looks all fabulous and glamorous on the outside, but on the inside, it's like not that great. Durin, okay. I should pull. You know what? I'm gonna do it. But before Durin came out with an energy, it's like whatever Durin was protecting, we weren't allowed to see what it was. Or it was supposed to be hidden. It was supposed to be kept quiet. I mean, it is the Sanctum of Treasures. I don't even know where that deck is. Oh, okay. They were evil. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I thought it would be like they were like magical and whatever. No. That makes sense. It was in reference to performative social media influencers. Oh, gotcha. Well, those show horses are workhorses. And I think that's one of the things that I guess just like in the industry in general, I feel like it's a lot of like what we would sort of perceive as like easy and vapid and mindless and stupid and all kinds of stuff. But the like algorithms and stuff like that's intense. And so there is like a lot of work that actually goes behind all of that. And I think that like it's like I don't know. I feel like it would be something that might be like easy to aspire to. Like, oh, I can like go viral and then like whatever. I don't even know what an NFT is. I'm gonna go viral and then get an NFT. I don't know what an NFT is. Something trading. Um, but I think like it actually requires like a lot more work. But and as far as that like playing on like the insecurities of people and stuff like that, how everyone wants to like be somebody else or do something or and then like put on like that performative social media. I don't know. Where are my North Divination cards? I might not be able to get them. I'm not gonna grab them. Oh, the Necromancer fell. Necromancer down. I don't even know where it went. Oh, here it is. The Necromancer fell on top of my water. But yeah, every time he was guarding the treasure, it's like it wasn't allowed to be seen. And the Queen of Swords was not cups. The Queen of Cups was there, like giving me mad stank eye. With this being the caverns of the gnome, though, this is a subterranean energy. Very Pluto and Capricorn. Where's this trumpet? The trumpet is gone. Oh, look, Venus and Aries. Oh my gosh, that's me. Oh, so after all this, right, with the energy of like us being in control of our lives in a more like positive and balanced way, after that, it's the memory keeper, which is the Six of Cups, but it has the Phoenix and the Dragon at the bottom. So there is an energy. It's almost like, I guess it could be your inner child. I don't know if they're both necessarily reborn after being freed of this devil energy, or if they're in a space where they can actually mature. It's like while they were here, they never matured, they never got older. And it's like there's a very static view of life here. And it's a view of, I mean, I guess that's why it came out after the wheel of life. Oh, look. Hey, Steph. You missed Remy. Remy Steph, yeah. We have a major wheel of fortune and then like this little wheel. So it's like little wheels that turn bigger wheels, big wheels that turn little wheels, and then we turn little wheels that turn other slightly bigger wheels that turn bigger wheels. Which is why this is also like Knight of Pentacles energy, because we're not necessarily always turning the biggest wheel. But if you turn a small wheel a few thousand times, you'll move a bigger wheel a whole degree. And that's only 359 more for a revolution. It feels like something that's like it's well hidden, but it's not. It's only hidden because of like us, you know? It's like if there was a word that you could say to get literally anything you want, and that word was please. But you feel like not you. If someone feels so entitled that they would never say please. And it's like if they said please, they would have it. If they said please, they'd have anything and everything. And so it's like it's not really hidden because please is like something that, generally when you request something of someone, you throw in a please or two. Or like I'd appreciate it. But that's interesting. I think that's something that I don't know if we I don't know if I've heard it be discussed too much. Like I hear a lot of I hear a lot. I don't hear that much. But I think every time I hear sovereignty, every time I hear authority, anytime I hear like power, I don't often hear like what kind of sovereign, what kind of authority figure, what kind of person in power would you want to be? And you become that type of person by exercising your sovereignty, power, or authority in that way. I don't know. She's doing a lot better, I think. She said she had to do some stuff for work tomorrow. I did catch that she's gonna be live next Monday on her birthday. It is the 13th. I thought it was the 13th, but for some reason the 17th is in my brain. I'm like, what's on the 17th? So the card that came out is Moon and Sagittarius. This is the Malays and the Vitruvian edition, but in the Revelation edition, it's the Pugilist. And I love the energy of the Pugilist as compared to the Malays for sure. Oh, look, there's the moon. The moon with the scarab flying in front of it. So that's the realm of the necromancer all the way back there. But this is before we even approach the necromancer. There's some energy that we approach before we even get there. And it is kind of sort of gatekeeping a little bit, low key. Like there's a space in between these two wands, and she's like occupying it. But the two wands that she's holding, they're the only torches. They're the only ones that bear light in that card. I love how my camera is like focusing on these cards. Love it. You can see the details. So that's like there is a two of wands energy. And I feel like that two of wands, it's about a unity of focus and a unity of purpose. But it might be a unity of focus and purpose in a way where like everything else is stripped away because it is the nine of wands card. And so it's kind of sort of like the truth of your character is revealed when you are in this situation or when you are in that situation. Like what you really believe becomes obvious under some kind of stress, strain, or pressure. And it's like if you want to know what you're actively manifesting, then like look at yourself in those places. I would say not necessarily, but that is like it does color a lot of the things that we do. Oh, we were just talking about Florida. What? Reem called in today? Reem called in today? What? Oof, how long was that live? Rob, was it you? It was you. Wasn't it you? I got a personal from you. And like the mother and the maiden energy was there and the crone was gone. And I think you were like, I don't know if that means like you're learning the mother and the maiden right now and you've already like mastered some crone energies, or if you need to like focus on the crone energy because she's not here. That was a minute ago. Because I could see this being a crone and a maiden energy. Is the wolf the mother? I don't know. What's at the bottom of the deck? The bottom of the deck is the hallowed. Oh, it's the hallowed flame. It's the sacred flame in the Revelation edition. It's fire on the ascendant. Could be a Sagittarius rising because it's moon in Sag. I wonder if that would be like a 12th house moon in Sag or a first house moon in Sag. The Ace of Scepters, the awakening. The thing I love about this Ace of Scepters is that there's like the light crystal up there and the dark crystal down there, but they're on the same wand. So it is. It feels like it understands our reaches. It feels like it stretches our understanding into the realm of the things that we don't necessarily want to know about, and even further into the realm of the things that we do want to know about. It's like bilateral or multi-directional rather than it being singular. So in that way, I would say for Sagittarian energy, because I see Sagittarian as like more unidirectionally focused and not necessarily like this. Like I see Sagittarius like this. Like you knock back the arrow and then you fire it. but this is like a unit or bilateral, multi-directional energy. So we're definitely learning from crone energy in that regard. It'd be like a matured Sagittarius. Yeah, okay. I'm like, I don't know. But I do think it's interesting that, again, it's like we have with the hallowed flame or the hallowed flame, it's the torch. And again, the only torches out of those 9 wands, it's the two that, oh, see, this reminds me of the Virgo rune reading, where it's like the magic lies within the woman. It feels like the truth is any of these wands that she touches would turn into a torch. Like she's the one that produces the fire, not the the tool. I don't know. And maybe this individual is struggling to get their own wand lit. Like they can't even get their one wand lit, and then here's somebody who has both lit. And that in itself feels like a test. Maybe a test of character where it's like, okay, like, are you going to be jealous? Are you going to be petty? Are you going to be like weird? Or are you going to be like, hey, like, can you teach me how to light my wand too? Because, like, I'd love to be able to do that. And I feel like, again, it goes back to that devil energy with the armor. It goes back to the energy where our wounds, our traumas, how we make them sort of visible by compensating and even overcompensating for them. But how in doing that, it's like we reach a certain autonomy, sovereignty, or whatever that isn't truly autonomy, sovereignty, or whatever. Because as long as the devil and that Eight of Swords energy continues to have a hold on us, it's like, you're not really autonomous or sovereign if you can't, like, if you can never do this one thing. Because it's like if you had to approach that space and exist within it, and if you completely lose yourself, it's like, well, there goes all of your authority. It's immediately handed over to whatever. And it feels like with this energy, when we just see it kind of sort of more black and white, it's about like ripping the reins out of the hands of whoever or whatever. But there's something inside that it leaves void. And the pugilist, like, she'll light that right up. She'll either she'll do that or the wolf will sniff it out. Talking about stankness. Talking about stankness. Is that Nietzsche? Joy is the first casualty of comparison. Oof. It is. Sadly. That's either Nietzsche or Terence McKenna or Carl Jung or Kierkegaard. I don't know. Who is that? I think you talked about Kierkegaard before. Was that you that talked about Kierkegaard? Or was that my buddy? It might have been my buddy. Because I was like, the only thing I know about Kierkegaard is what I learned from The Good Place, which isn't much besides his name. What? Now I gotta look it up. It's time for me to Google. It's already 8 o'clock. Oh my gosh. Joy is the first casualty of comparison. I butchered that. Comparison is the thief of joy. The thief of joy is comparison. Comparison is the death of joy. Comparison is the death of contentment. Mark Twain, what? I was off. Mark Twain said comparison is the death of joy. You've talked about Kierkegaard? Okay. I thought so. I don't remember in what context. I was just like, oh, Cheaty, The Good Place. I think it's one of those. It almost feels like one of those things that's left intentionally vague. Now I'm thinking about the House Pisces video that Rob Rusty. He was like, Pisces, you're vague. And I was like, I am, and I love it. It's like vague, it's nebulous, it's Neptunian. Get into it. That's hilarious. I don't know what that means. Oh. So the card that came out is the joined one, Two of Cups. It's hilarious because under the Ace of Wands is the joined one, Two of Cups. I looked at it, I was like, okay. See, in this deck, oh, it's the same in this one. It's the mother. Oh, wait, is it the maiden and the crone? It's the maiden and the crone here because we have the waxing moon and the waning moon. I think the full moon is the mother in between. So where's the mother? Where's the empress? Does it matter? I don't know. The bottom of the deck is the emperor. So we don't see the mother, but we know that the empress is somewhere around here because we have the Two of Cups and the emperor. There's also the cubic. I don't know what the correct occult whatever is because the Vitruvian edition has a lot of occult symbology, and I don't know a lot of it. I would dare say that I don't know any of it. But it's like it has this cubey thing right here that's outlined. It's not filled in. But it's like it's not Emperor's job to fill it in. Like the Emperor provides the structure. The Emperor provides the place, the outline, and the Empress fills it in however she sees fit. And so in this, it's almost a decontextualization. I think so. Mark Twain was like apparently a lot more than just Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer. There's some Mark Twain quote that I don't know, but I know it's famous. Let me see if I can find it. I'll just do famous Mark Twain quotes. Let's see if I can find it. um, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. That might have been one. I know. They're like, maybe it's anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. The fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time. Um, what? Go to heaven for the climate, hell for the company. What? What? Get your facts first, then you can distort them as you please. What? Okay. Never put off till tomorrow what you can do the day after tomorrow. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. Okay. Well, do the thing you fear most, then the death of fear is certain. There you go. Anyway, maybe it was the one like if you tell the truth, then you won't have to have a good memory or something like that. I don't know. Oh, I didn't know about that one. I thought like cool cigar quotes was just a phrase. I think this goes back to that question of sovereignty and how it is that we rule in our own lives. And are we like tyrannical or whatever? Oh, well. And then I got the title card. So it's intentionally vague. And I feel like sometimes it may even be intentionally misleading. But it's only misleading. It's like, again, the thing like if please is the magic word that'll get you everything you want, but you'll never use it. So, like, is it actually hidden? Not really. Um, but it feels like there's something that it reveals about the character of a person. when certain things are left vague. And it may not even necessarily be the person in particular as a person. It might be the person in relation to everything that the person sort of like been through or their environment or something like that. It's like it can get us to see things about the world around us in their truth. I don't know. Shayna, hello. Excuse me. And it goes back to Abyssus, Abyssum, and Wokat. The depths of you call to the depths in me. So back to that pugilist Nine of Wands energy, it kind of sort of is a little bit more of that, like whenever we're put in a certain situation, that's when we get to discover what our own truths are. That's when we discover what we really believe, and what we really believe and what we really hold as true is what the universe uses to create based off of. That's how the universe fills in the blanks around us. Good night, Eve. I got some dreaming to not do. I just want to sleep tonight. No more dreams. Just sleep. Just. I'm kidding. Kind of. I got some soup that I want to eat. I think that there are like diamonds in the rough, though. I feel like there are better things for us to discover. And it's almost like if you've ever been it's not you. It's almost like experiencing the same thing to the degree that it's like it's when we reach that point of like I know that there has to be more than this. I know that this can't be all there is. And then it's like more starts to come because that's the point that we were supposed to reach. But I think there are also things that we have to do to make or experience different or more at the same time. Who was it? Was it Albert Einstein that said to do the same thing and expect a different result is the definition of insanity or something like that? That's a quote that I see thrown around a lot. I feel like it's something that also doesn't necessarily account for circumstance. And sometimes you can do the same thing and get a different result because of the environment, right? It's like if I stick my tongue out and it's not raining, it's not going to get wet. Hopefully. I can only stick my tongue out and expect it to get wet if it's raining outside, right? If you fly a kite and you attach a key to it, doesn't mean you're necessarily gonna, discover lightning or electricity or whatever. It's not until it's storming that the lightning is there for the key attached to the kite to be the path of least resistance or whatever. So there are some things that wouldn't necessarily be as insane if you tried it now. Because the environment is different, the circumstances. If the environment has changed, if the circumstances are changed, then maybe it wouldn't be that insane. Maybe. I have no clue. I know nothing. I can confidently say that for everything that I do know, there is even more that I don't know, and that everything I know, I am open to knowing again, knowing more, or discovering that I don't know. But I'm not necessarily the type of person that has to believe or think that I don't know anything either. Because I can be open to my knowing being expounded upon or proven wrong at any moment. So I could do both. That's the power of Neptune. Excuse me. I'm kidding. I don't know. All right. I need to get actual food in my body because these gummy worms are not helping. But if there's anything that either of you, Rob or Shayna, would like from me in this time before the time I leave, then speak now, please. And if not, I will catch you all. You do? I was at the store. This isn't a promoted video or advertised, sponsored. This isn't sponsored. But I saw these gummy, like, twin snakes. I was like, twin snakes? What? I gotta get them. And I felt around. And they're Haribo. And I was like, how's your date going tomorrow? What? That is a question that I will intentionally not answer, but I hope it goes amazing. Just because, like, you could be on your date tomorrow. And, like, if it's going to go good, then it'll go well. If it's not going to go well, then, it doesn't have to be on your mind the whole time. And then you're, like, looking for something to not go right because of some card I pulled or whatever. Let's see. Hold up. Oops. Here it is. Ow. I do have this one deck here. Let's see. I assume this means I won't get murdered. Well, not being murdered is the least that we can hope for. Go to a public place, well lit, well ventilated. So if you got to pass gas or if somebody else got to pass gas, then it won't stink. You know what I mean? Okay. I have the Affirmators Love and Relationships cards. How is Shayna's gonna date tomorrow? How is Shayna's date gonna go tomorrow? My words have been getting all switched and flipped and flopped up. Expert Patrick advice. Oof, I don't know if I have any of that. I got regular Patrick advice. I don't know if there's a lot of things that Patrick's an expert on. Patrick's an expert in, like, Patricking. I think I'm an expert in, like, Patricking and being Patrick. Oh. Celebration is the card that came out with perspective at the bottom of the deck. And it says, when I come across people in happy, healthy relationships, I give jealousy the finger and celebrate their joy. When I do so, I'm rooting for the good guys, which means that I'm a good guy. And that means all of us win. Who wants to celebrate? And then perspective is, what does a hawk see when it flies over your house besides the family of mice living nearby that you don't know about? Come through, rats and mice. What is going on? What will your current problems, conflicts, complaints look like when you're 80 years old and you gaze back on the timeline of your life? In this moment, you are being given the gift of clear perspective, of knowing that in the end, everything is going to be probably much better than okay. Think large enough, and even big issues become small. Become an 80-year-old hawk and you're really onto something. I do too. So it's perspective and celebrate. And I feel like those are two really cool energies. And it's almost this like do you want to go into it thinking about all the things that could like go wrong, and so that's like what you kind of sort of focus on when you're in the moment, or do you want to go into it thinking of all that you wish to like experience in love or relationships, and to not necessarily put on rose tinted glasses to the point where everything looks like a red flag. Wait, that's the opposite. It's not to put on rose tinted glasses to the point where like you don't see anything, but it's almost a question of like setting your expectations, or it's like aligning your expectations with your desires in a way, if that makes sense. And it's like if there's anything that you feel particularly like undateable or unlovable or whatever because of, then it's like it's not to go in with like all of that on your mind. It's to like be in the moment and to allow the experience to unfold as the experience unfolds. And in that way, if it's not great, then it's not going to be great. But if it is, you're more open to seeing and experiencing that part. It definitely feels like celebration. Oh my gosh. Oof. I almost got hit with emotion for a second. I was like, oh goodness. It does feel like celebration is gonna be something that you're gonna be able to experience a lot more in your life if you wish to and if you look for it. Oh gosh. And I can feel myself getting emotional. And then under perspective, it's no scorekeeping. I cut ties with past conflicts and make my personal life a clean, shiny slate. Beginning this moment, everything is new. When an old grievance repeats itself in my head, I introduce it to my new head tenants: tolerance and equanimity. Then I give it its stupid t shirt and records back and tell it to leave. So there you go. There's going to be like so much for you to celebrate. And I think that's gorgeous. As far as the date, there you go. That's what I can do for you. Hold up, wait. I want, I want to pull myself one of these real quick. I want to pull myself one of these real quick. Yeah, it's like, you're awesome. You're amazing. You're like super cool, super chill. You're a catch. Remember that. Okay, so for Patrick, let's see what comes out. I might just read this to myself. I'm gonna give this 5 shuffles for. Oh, there we go. Oh, I got 2. Oh, like 5. I got 4. Oh, Oof, I don't know if I want to put myself out here like this. Wow! Read me the low key. So the first card I got commitment and appreciation that flipped over. For anyone who's curious, I guess. And then curiosity and grace. And the bottom of the deck is compliments. So whenever I say I'm being brave, curiosity. I willingly accept that it's safe to topple my walls and commit completely to a relationship. It might be one that's already here or one that's on the way. Either way, those walls have got to go. Without them, I can go further, feel freer, and love bigger than ever before. Bonus, no walls means I'll save a lot of money on picture frames. And appreciation. I appreciate the unique ways other people show their love rather than compare their ways with my ways. Then I appreciate myself for maturely putting up with people who just can't seem to show love the normal, obvious, universally accepted way. Good job, both of us. I think I like these together. I feel like I feel like appreciation is probably definitely something that I've learned in the past. When was 2016? 5 years ago? It wasn't 16. Was it 16? Yeah, it was 16, 17. 2016 was 5 years ago. It's something I've been learning, well, maybe a little bit more recently than that. But yeah, pretty much appreciation and then commitment. That's like when I realized that, like, um, I had like relationship anxiety or whatever. But anyway, I like these. These are definitely related to things that I've been healing and working through. And then curiosity, meeting new people. I remember what a treasure trove of opinions, interests, and stories they are. But these treasures will only be unlocked if I embrace my curiosity. So I'll be curious and you be interesting. Deal? Wow, I feel that one. High key. Grace. I face disagreements with grace and flow through the ups and downs of my relationships without getting thrown off center. If I didn't feel called out by that post that Rob made, I definitely do now. I'm just playing. With grace, I'm able to keep my cool, be my best self, and not resort to name calling, even when that crappy poo poo face is being a douchey barf monster. Okay. Well. Oof. Call me out. That's another thing. Um, I think grace goes back to appreciation, though. Well, not necessarily, but I think there is a certain line where grace and appreciation find themselves definitely overlapping, um, even though they don't necessarily have to be um, occurring together. You've been coming for everybody. I was gonna send you a message um, on the community post before the last one. I was like, wow, so you really just out here coming for folks, huh, Rob? Ever since that first meme you posted, it's just been like, oof. But it's fine. I can appreciate being come for. Um, because it highlights things within myself that I need to address. Or just like, oh, that was my quote. It was something that knowing like what's worth fighting for or something like that. So the compliments card, did I already read it? I know how good it feels to get a compliment, so I give that gift to others. I'll find a nice compliment for everyone I interact with today, even if I have to think really hard about it. In which case, I can follow up by complimenting myself for solving such a compliment puzzle. Wow, I'm skilled. So yeah, I feel like those are definitely relevant, definitely in my life right now. I think also though, like appreciation and grace, it's just like it's good things to sort of be reminded of regardless. Curiosity is definitely there. Um, commitment of course is like to be TBD. But I have been thinking, speaking of curiosity, I have been thinking lately how wonderful I guess it is that I find so many things that I can appreciate, going back to appreciation, all sort of in one individual in a way that I don't know if I've necessarily found them before. I don't know. I don't know. Only time will tell, you know. Was there anything that I could do for you, sir? Professor Nerdpal Skywalker Odinson of the North. I'm thirsty. Yeah. It's like finding a cool person who's I don't know. Yeah, I can't shorten it. It only gets longer, Shayna. It only gets longer. Sir Professor No Sir Professor Nerdplow Odinson Skywalker of the North. Or of the Norse. Of the frozen lands. The Fjordlands. Fjord. What kind of cars do you want? You got your Moderna booster today. If we're talking about statuses, I am fully vaccinated. I'm kind of out on the booster. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it too much, but I might. Anyway, anyway. Feels like the fjord tonight. What kind of cars? It was? What? I had the chills for like 24 hours after, so I got Moderna. Um, and I had the chills for like 24 hours after I got the second one, and like that's it. But it was nice because it was so hot. It was so hot. Oh, see, I want to travel too, so maybe I should get it. I don't. Will definitely buy my birthday. So I got like a few months, 2.5 months until my birthday. I don't know where I'm going yet. I need to start saving that money. Dealer's choice for Rob. I kind of want to pull the Norse divination oracle cards, but I also don't because every time I pull the Norse divination, it seems like sometimes when I pull the Norse divination oracle cards, it's very like I don't know if I should necessarily be talking about this live in front of other people because this feels kind of personal. Corey, hello. You thought you heard me? Well, you heard correctly. It is us. We are here. I could pull. What do I want to pull for Rob? I'm gonna let Siri decide. I'm gonna let Siri decide because I can't. May the odds be ever in Rob and Sir Professor Nerdpal Odinson Skywalker of the Norse. Hey Siri, choose a number between 1 and 3.
A random number between 1 and 3 is 1.
Oh, it's 1. I know what I want to go for. I'll go for these. Oof. I think no, I don't have that one in here. Hey Siri, choose a random number between 1 and 3.
A random number between 1 and 3 is 2.
Okay, well, these came from 2. Hey Siri, choose a random number between 1 and 3.
A random number between 1 and 3 is 3.
Oh. Okay, well, there's only one of those. So, oof. We'll see. Hopefully the NyQuil will kick in and you'll be like asleep and I won't have to go through with this. How are you doing, the Light Body Oracle? The Light Body Oracle. I feel like saying your name. I feel like talking like this now. There's this thing. It's like when you like project your voice as you're talking, I feel like I'm pushing out more air. I don't know why I want to say like the Light Body Oracle. It's like boop 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 boop. Online. That's interesting. This deck doesn't have a wolf card, does it? I'm pretty sure it doesn't. It's like let's tap into Rob's energy. Wolf howling in the distance. Okay. Oh. You're wondering what's going on. Lots of chatter in the lines. Oof. Oof. Well, the card originally came out in reverse because I was holding the deck in reverse. And for you, Sir Professor Nopal, Odinson of the Norse, I'll take it in reverse. It's interesting, though, because I've seen this card in reverse lately. Hopefully not, because I didn't even get no sleep last night. I was stuck in that in between waking and sleeping, and my brain just would like not stop. It's fine. You got the standstill in reverse. I like the standstill in reverse. It feels like within you there's a deep I don't know if it's like deep emotional release or if it's a deep emotional receptiveness. Because this looks like the moon, or it feels like the moon. And it feels like for some reason when standstill was active, it's because of something to do with the moon. But with standstill in reverse, it's because it's like the moon is like getting out of the way in some way. And what it feels like it's like in the card at the bottom of the deck is the sorcerer with the Andean cross. Oof. Hold up, wait. Do I have reversals in this deck or is this card just in reverse? I'm so confused. I think I might have reversals in this deck. Yeah, I do. Okay. So I thought the whole deck was in reverse. Not necessarily true, but that's fine. The sorcerer with the Andean cross is very much this energy though. Because it feels like with however you're opening yourself up right now, it's allowing other things to connect more deeply. Which isn't surprising. Um, Chiron direct on the 19th. Wait. Like as far as the standstill in reverse with the moon stuff? Or the chatter? Because I'm like, I'm confused. See, it feels like with the moon transiting, and it's not surprising because you are like a Scorpio sun. But it's like it opens you up to deeper connection. And it feels like with the moon transiting out of the way, they're like little oh, that's so weird. I feel like it just got quiet. There's a little like feelers, maybe. I don't know if they're necessarily there, if it's just like very like Eliza energy. I don't know if there's an Eliza in your life, or if there's someone that you know, Eliza or Elisa, that is of significance. But it feels like there are these things in the deeper layers that are like connection points. And when the moon was like transiting, when the moon was on top of it, when you weren't necessarily like open or receptive, then the thing like it couldn't connect to these because it was blocking it. But now with it like transiting out of the way, they're like open to for connection. Um, let's get the second deck. I mean, I guess that would make sense with some of the stuff that you are doing. I don't know if something was like paused though. Well, that's a lot. So the Archangel of Mysteries is at the bottom of the deck. There's the Archangel of Mysteries. There's the head of Medusa. Speaking of Algol, there's the Ten of Swords. So, um, now they're in reverse. So the Archangel of Mysteries and the Eminence, like they fell down, revealing the Destroyer, Ten of Swords, and now they're in reverse. And behind it is like the Eminence, the Nine of Pentacles. Mm, everything just got like really quiet. Like I can still hear my fan. I can still hear like the ceiling fan and the fan of my laptop, but it's definitely significantly more quiet. It's like all of the background noise, all of the ambient noise, just like got turned way low. That's interesting. So I kind of I kind of want to just like text it to you. Here, I'll do that. I'll just hold up. Wait 1 second. Or I guess I could just say it, but I don't know how deep into this I can go, if you know what I mean. I don't even know what this means. Maybe it doesn't mean anything. There we go. And like these aren't even the cards that flipped over. It is a little necessarily. It was interesting. There. Oh, let's see. Okay. Okay. I was like, I don't care. I have to be respectful of the energies at play because what I don't want is somebody's ancestors or guides or whoever. I don't see the Queen of Cups, but I feel her energy, and she kind of glaring at me right now. I never necessarily thought of power animals as ones that like guide us through certain environments before. So like if you have koala power animal, then maybe that one gives you something about like a forest or like trees. And if you have like a scorpion, then maybe that one gives you something more like arid and like deserty. And if you have a falcon, then that one gives you something more airy. And then you can have like in betweens like a heron, which would be like water and air. Or if like there's a dolphin. And it feels it's almost kind of sort of I don't know if it's necessarily that or if it's just like okay, or if it's just like it's just like new. I don't know if it's necessarily like water though, or if it just feels like water because of the little thingies. But it feels like there's definitely something that might step forward in a way. Um, and it might help you navigate previously like difficult to explore areas of like your psyche. I guess this is like the Ten of Swords, Sun, Gemini, mental, right? The cards that came out though, it's the Chancellor, which is justice. I mean, Kraken has definitely been a theme lately. I mean, we do have the head of Medusa here. It's the head of Medusa. Kraken is very deep sea. It's actually like Kraken energy has been sort of creeping up. It's been like it not necessary. It's very plain sight. Um like I'm playing snack oh is it your Mangander? I have no clue. But hopefully a different outcome could be reached. I think it's kind of sort of low key tragic. And I think I talked to you about that before. Um how Jormungandr is a child of Loki, and how, at least in what I've seen, Loki is like a precious brother to Thor. And I can't necessarily imagine him feeling great about having to kill one of the children of someone that he holds so dear. So if we could like work around that, that'd be cool. I mean, I just think that'd be cool. Maybe you don't necessarily agree. I don't know. But Justice and the Chancellor, the Archangel of Glory, who has his trumpet again. He didn't have the trumpet in the Revelation edition. With Holy Water, Ace of Cups, and the Dark Horse, Seven of Scepters. See, that would make sense though. I think between the Andean Cross and the Destroyer, there's like big energy here that's very it's very like, if you know what this means, like that, very it's very I'm just like, I don't know, it just feels like it's a time of like really exploring yourself, hopefully in a safe way or with someone that you can trust or whatever. Um like deeper. And because I feel like again, like it makes sense because you are who you are. But it's like your ability to be vulnerable is going to directly correlate to some other stuff that is beyond the scope of this reading. Yeah. And it's almost like I feel like if you were to ask a question, you get an answer. And so just ask. And it feels like it's time for something within you to move. And I don't know if it's necessarily stagnant or if it was like, what's that, like chronostasis, locked. But I don't know why. It does feel kind of intense. But I don't know if I don't think you'd necessarily have to navigate it alone, which is like really cool. I don't know what this is, but there is like a really sort of like intense energy, and it's like it's kind of sort of here, but it originally came out upright. So and I guess I would say um to remember how connected you are, to whoever, whatever, whenever. It's like, it's just be mindful of that, because it's like the weight or the power or the gift of that connection, or those connections, will shine when they need to, if they need to. And anything beyond that is beyond me. Can I get the sound back, please? Can somebody turn the sound back up? I mean, I guess it is a initiatory stage of sorts. I don't know which would come first, though. But it definitely is. It's feeling like a new energy, a new power animal, a new something that's going to take you to, or put you in, or help you navigate an environment that you haven't yet explored. And maybe there is it's not a toll, but there's some kind of like entry uh shock. um it's not a test, but I feel like it might feel like it is, just because it's like of the depth of it. It's just like new. You know what I mean? It feels new or whatever. Oh, look at that. Okay, I'll share this with you. Yeah. See, here's that Nine of Wands energy. Here's the Six of Swords and the Angel. So it's very like you're not alone. You don't have to go through it alone. Maybe in the past there were certain things that you kind of sort of, but it's like, use your network. Don't be afraid to sort of like reach out or reach up, or I don't want to say reach down. Well, it is like depth. So maybe you do want to reach deeper. Who knows? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-do. Do 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 do. That's the song when you take a Scorpio deeper than Scorpio knew they could go, and Scorpio is the deepest that they. It's fine. You'll be fine. Everything's fine. You'll be great. You'll be amazing. You'll be so glad you did it when it's done. What? You actually dreamt of Mimir's well the other night. Were you? No. No. Okay. Well, maybe it is time to reach down the well. Wait, is that a coffee? Oh, that's an eye. I said, is that a coffee? Well, maybe you don't. If you're not seeking what Odin sought, maybe you'd pay something else. If you seek sight, then it'll cost you an eye. If you seek, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you only have to pay though if it's not yours, question mark. So if it's yours, then it's kind of like maybe Mimir is just like holding it for you in the well, and you're like going to retrieve it. It's kind of oof, but you're strong. You're tough. You'll be all right. Okay. Well, I guess that's it. Mystical Shaman Oracle cards. Oh, that was quick. I didn't even finish. Oh. These are on the side. Oh, this is interesting. Medicine Wheel in reverse, the Council upright, and the Owl upright. And the bottom of the deck is the Eagle upright with the Tree of Life in reverse. The Eagle and the Tree of Life in reverse is interesting because the Eagle, Hraesvelg, is perched atop the Tree of Life. And according to the Idrisil Norse divination cards, Hraesvelg might actually be Loki in the shape of an eagle, which is interesting. Because then it's almost like it gives Loki even more purpose than he already had. This energy came out like 2 years ago? No, it was last year. It was like early-ish last year. I think it was in February last year. And I think that energy is actually similar to an energy that just came out that's kind of sort of like circulating right now. What was that energy? It was something with the world tree, I think. What was it? I lost it. I kept talking about it and I forgot it. Oh, snap. I don't know if there's many that I don't post, honestly. Was that part of the energy? I feel like the tree of life in reverse, it speaks to the bigger picture. But it's like not only, and then the smoky mirror is in reverse under the tree of life in reverse. It's not only bigger picture. It's like if you take the bigger picture and then you flip it upside down and then you zoom in on like this corner and you blow it up, then it's like you'll actually see like why whatever is occurring is occurring. Because it's almost like when it's in the talons of the eagle, then it's upside down. Because the eagle is like carrying it upside down or whatever. I don't know. And so it is almost an energy of. Okay. Maybe that's why it seems so quiet. Because I turned the music off. Maybe. Let's turn this back on. I had a dream about a tree with silver leaves and the eagles that made a nest in the tree because of the silver leaves, and the creatures that lived on the bottom of the tree that got protection because of the eagles. Because whatever was the predator of the smaller creature, the eagle was the predator of that. And so it's like it wouldn't dare go where the eagle's nest or whatever. I don't know. Actually, like Russ showed it to me in a dream I had a long time ago. He was like, Patrick, come with me. Look at all the things I've been learning. And I had to get on a boat. I had to get on a boat and cross a body of water. And he had wrote like a story. And I spent the whole dream like with like I think other people were supposed to read it in the class or whatever. But like every time I read the book in the dream, it would put me to sleep. So I'm like fighting sleep trying to read. But I remember that part. And I remember the fur of the creature. And I remember the professor dude was like mad at me because he was like, you spent the whole time reading the story. Nobody else got to read it. And I was like, it was putting me to sleep. Sorry, but I was paying attention. I don't know. And he was less mad because I was actually paying attention. But anyway, excuse me. I don't have Disney Plus. Right. It is easier to go live and then not have to worry about like not using your device while it's uploading or whatever. The medicine wheel in reverse, the council and the owl. This is an interesting energy because it almost feels like the council is the energy that we would reach out to. Like we would reach up to the council, and the owl is an emissary of the council. But the medicine wheel is in reverse with the council because it's just like there's a power greater than the council at play. There are powers beyond the powers that we would even sort of like have vague conception of or even imagining of. And that's the sort of like tree of life in reverse energy. Because again, it's like if you go big picture, flip it, zoom in on one corner, like zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. It may still be a little blurry, but it's like that's the thing you're looking for. Or it's like that's the important. And it's like the eagle has the eye to catch that detail even when it's like upright and zoomed all the way out. But with eagle, it feels less perceptive and more like instinctual or intuitive. It's almost like when you're going looking for something and you don't know what you're looking for, but your intuition is telling you to like go here or go there. And then something happens and you're like, oh, this is why I came here. Or like, oh, like I didn't even know I was looking for this and I found it. Type of energy, you know what I mean? I don't know. See, there's something. I'm just like, has this energy come up before? What it does remind me of, I don't know if this energy came up specifically, but it reminds me of when I took the wild unknown animal spirits and tarot and I put them together and I pulled out all the owls. And only one owl watcher came out before the veil. All of the other ones were like behind the veil. Some were like deep behind the veil. And one of them was behind the veil with like the wolf or something. And it's like this watcher is just like watching. This watcher is watching. Could be Santa. Could be the Santa Claus. Rob, I don't know. Today though, I was feeling like a little woozy. There was like a moment at work where I felt a little woozy. And like even yesterday. But anyway, it's been almost like 3 hours. How fast are owls? Because I'm trying to like put the eagle next to the owl. What the owl has on the eagle would be like its ability to see at night because its pupils are so large, it lets in, like, even if there's not that much light, it's enough for the owl. But I feel like eagles might be faster, or they might have like sacral repair has been up. I can see that. There's definitely another clear message. You see owls a lot in meditation. I'm not surprised by that. I don't know if I'm even like, I don't even know what owls are for me. Owls are just like traditionally like wisdom, like night vision, being able to turn your head, like being able to turn your head nearly 360 degrees is pretty cool, but also like I could just turn around. Not to take anything away from the owl, but I guess like you would be able to move forward and look like behind you easier than just like, because if you move your neck, you can only look so far. I don't know. Anyway, excuse me. This is like chaotic. Honestly, like the medicine wheel in reverse is very chaotic. And it feels like the council is just like trying to make sense out of it. It's just like it feels a little scrambly, a little bit. 39 is a 12, 11 is an 11. I don't know. Excuse me. Nocturnal hunter energy. I'm just like trying to think. Like for me, I'm like, I don't even know if I don't wanna be like ungrateful or anything, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm necessarily trying to hunt anything in the dark or hunting anything in the dark. I mean, it would be cool, I guess, if I were in the dark to have night vision. I don't know. Anyway, I don't think I'm necessarily going to get anywhere with this energy. I don't think I necessarily want to. Well, It's like indirect value statements or indirect value judgments. It's the energy of that almost. But it's just like there's a plan beyond the plan, and there's a plan beyond that one. And so even when we think that we're in control of whatever, it's like in reality, something or someone else may be encouraging certain choices by the encounters that are sort of lined up. But there's also an energy beyond that energy. It's very like meta or whatever. I'm like, this is exhausting. So just find your own internal truth, girl, and you'll be fine. Girl, dude. I use girl and dude as gender all encompassing pronouns, even though they are kind of sort of coded male or female. It's like, oof, 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 oof. I mean, I feel like ultimately at the end of the day, though, it's just like if you connect to your guidance and if you do what you know you're supposed to be doing in the way that you know you're supposed to do it, like I feel like you'll be fine. And then it doesn't necessarily matter what, or it doesn't matter like who was planning what or whatever, because it's like you almost take yourself out of it by just doing like what's right for you or something. I don't know. That's what I'm just like, ah, the sun is here. And I think, what was the first card? It was something, the medicine wheel was 35. The sun is 53. And it was the medicine wheel in reverse. So in reverse, it was kind of a 53. Now the 53s come out upright in the sun. And the sun is coming with water in reverse. And then the spiral is at the bottom of the deck. I feel like this, see, but with the sun and water in reverse, it's this energy. It's like we're looking at the sun in the reflection of the water. And it's like because the sun is what the sun is, it doesn't necessarily matter if you're looking at the sun directly or if you're looking at a reflection of the sun. Because either way, if the sun is out, you're going to see. And it's going to warm you as much as it's going to warm you. It's going to illuminate as much as it's going to illuminate. But maybe in the reflections of it, we can get trapped. That makes sense. Getting trapped in the reflection of the sun, that's moon energy. That's what the moon does. Reflect sunlight. It's like when you look in one of those mirrors and it's like the mirror inside of the mirror inside of the mirror. It's like that, but I don't know. It's the spiral. I don't know. Why? I don't know nothing about the council. I don't know if I want to know anything about the council. I'm not necessarily. I'm not especially pressed. You know what I mean? I'm kind of sort of more of a like do my own thing anyway. I'm like I'm just trying to have the experience that I want to have and be a decent person. And if I see somebody who I can help or like who's cool or whatever, then in the moment, if it's right, I'll do it. I'm not necessarily one for like responsibility and like rules and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm just like, whoa. I just like want to have an experience. You know what I mean? Like I'm here to have a good time. You know what I mean? Like you only live this incarnation once, as far as we know. I'll shuffle these one more time. Why not? I don't know. But I can appreciate those who are in more of a service role and who are more whatever, who do all the stuff that I don't want to do. You know what I mean? I appreciate the people who do the stuff I don't want to do. What is this? Who is this? Magic in reverse? 33. Or E. Magic in reverse. With the Gatherer upright. And the Gatherer is a 21-3. I mean, the difference between the Gatherer energy and Magic energy is that it feels like the Gatherer energy, it's more connected to the earth around it. The energy of Magic feels very singular and it feels very isolated. And look, there's the spiral again. But now the spiral is in reverse. So instead of it like spiraling downward, it's like spiraling out or something. Spiraling out of control. I'm just playing. Excuse me. What's interesting is they both have like a sun and some other celestial body energy. You see? But one is red and one is black. I feel like it goes back to the tree of life in reverse. And maybe that's why magic is in reverse. And I feel like that's the energy of circumstance. So the gatherer, because the gatherer gathers, it's able to understand circumstance. Magic is an energy that completely discards circumstance. Magic is an energy that overwrites circumstance or that creates. It's like magic is magic because the circumstances don't align for it, right? It's like it's not a magic trick if, I put $10 in your hand and then I'm like, whoa, look, you got $10 in your hand. It's only magic if you don't see me put the $10 in your hand, or if like I take the $10 out of your hand and I put it in my pocket but it's still in your hand, like then it's magic. Magic goes against circumstance. And that the energy of the tree of life in reverse being like, first you got to take the big picture and then you flip it in reverse and then you put a filter on it and then you manipulate it and then you zoom in and then you got to sharpen it up because it'll be a little blurry and then you'll kind of sort of get an idea. It's like it's just like complicated circumstance. And magic, it feels like magic tries to cut a thread. to simplify something or to remove something or to change something, but there are certain threads that just like won't cut. And it feels like they won't cut for a reason. For reasons got the gatherer will understand. Because the gatherer, again, it's like it's out. This is very North Node Gemini energy. It's like out and experiencing, it's involved, it's very like one-on-one or one-on-many, face to face, where South Node Sagittarius is like very that like in a tower somewhere, studied, learned, philosophizing. And it's like, the theory and the philosophy and the hypothesis, like they're all cool. But in real life, it doesn't work that way. And this is like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's not working. Like, why is it not working? Because the circumstances are coded on a much higher level. And it's a level higher than the magic is able to intervene in some way. Maybe certain magics will work. The ones that fall in line with the circumstances, maybe others won't. I don't know. There's very like play beyond play, reason beyond reason, plans beyond plans, opportunity beyond opportunity, and all above what we're capable of understanding. I don't know if it's necessarily because we're not capable of understanding. Like, I don't know if the understanding is a limit of like capability or if it's a limit of like what's being shown. You know what I mean? It's almost like we don't know because we don't know. It's not we don't know because we don't understand. You know what I mean? Not to say that it isn't complicated, but I don't know. I don't know. So one must flip it in reverse. The great sage Missy Elliott once said, see, but at the same time, though, it feels like it's not even something that we necessarily have to worry about. Because again, it's like the eagle sees it and it feels like, I don't know if it's the intuition of the eagle or if it's the instinct of the eagle. It feels like the eagle finds it without the eagle even necessarily knowing that it was looking for it in the first place. It's just like the eagle doing whatever the eagle is sort of like led and guided to do. Because the universe will put you down many a twisting corridor that are various degrees of illuminated or not. And then we kind of sort of just find ourselves in places. It's very like wandering through a magical forest and making all of the right turns. It's like it's a forest that people get lost in all the time. It's very The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time question mark. No, yeah. No, yeah. I think it's the Ocarina of Time where you get when you're going through the forest and you like try to find the skull kid or whatever, and it's like if you make the wrong turn, you end up back in the beginning. It's like when we're following our internal guidance, we're naturally navigating mazes like that without even necessarily knowing the place that we're in. And it's like it's almost go it almost goes back to the energy of like the power animal or the guide helping us. It's like a new power animal or guide that helps us navigate an environment that we haven't necessarily previously been in before. And when we have that guide, when we're being led and when we follow what we're sort of led to do instead of like fighting it and instead of trying to find ways to go around it when we face it head on, then it's like it eliminates the confusion. we sort of naturally fall in line with the flow of the universe. And, the flow is different. I don't know if we're ever necessarily out of the flow, but I think there are definitely times when we're guided to do something and we don't do it for whatever reason. Is it our path? Is it our journey to not listen, not follow through, or is that our choice? I don't know. Um, Choice is a very powerful thing. Choice allows us to wake up one day and go, you know what? Nothing in my life is changing. Nothing is necessarily different. But today, I'm going to be different. I'm going to change. So, like, just make that decision. I don't know. Or do we have choice? It's a whole argument that I'm not necessarily trying to get into, but uh, it's very almost that. Excuse me. And then you don't even know. You don't even know what you're navigating or where you are or the space that you're in until you pass by something or until something happens and it plays out in a different way. And you're like, oh, I am somewhere new, aren't I? So that's why it's almost like it kind of sort of doesn't matter. But at the same time, I guess if we choose for it to, then it will. I don't know. I don't know. Excuse me. So with that, I hope you all have a good whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to like all that you wish to experience your reality. And I hope that whatever you need along your path, journey, or way, you find. So cryptically vague Pisces. What? I love it. I love it. The thing that I like about being vague is that it allows room for the universe. Like I'm not Sagittarius, you know? Like I'm not going to tell you exactly how it should be and exactly how it works and I'm not going to make everything like all like, nice and neat and sort of like draw out all the lines. It's like no, it'll be what it is. Feminine side of Jupiter expands in many ways, not only one or two. So, no problem, Rob. I would be very interested. Hold up, wait. My brain is remembering things. Okay. Yeah, you'll have to, as you see fit, let us know or me know of your journey. Actually, I don't know if I want to know. I'm like, do I really want to know though? Do I really want to know? I don't know. If you can be vague and non-specific about your journey with me, I would appreciate that. Just like in general. I don't need details. I don't need anything that might trigger anything. Just very vague. Like, you know what I mean? But anyway. Good night. Thank you, the Light Body Oracle. The Light Body Oracle. You will be cryptically vague. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Rob Odinson, Sir Professor Nopal Odinson of the North, Sir Professor Nopal Skywalker Odinson. Or is it Sir Professor Skywalker? No, I think it's, let me see. Let me see exactly. I don't want to mess up your title. What? Where's the Skywalker? I know I put a Skywalker in here. Hello? Where did the Skywalker go? Sir Professor Nerdplow. Where does the Skywalker fit in? Sir Professor Skywalker Nerdplow? No. Sir Professor Nerdplow Skywalker Odinson? Odinson Skywalker. I like Odinson Skywalker. Sir Professor Nerdplow Odinson Skywalker of the North. I got to change this. I think I ran out of characters or something. No, they're all here. I don't know why I didn't save it. Sir Professor Nerdplow Odinson Skywalker of the North. No problem. And the Light Body Oracle. I don't know. I like saying it like that. And also to Eve and to Shayna. Remy. That gets a hyphenate, a multi-hyphenate. It's all one, like first name, Sir, last name, Professor Nobel Odinson Skywalker of the North, all hyphenated. I'm just playing. Rob Odinson Skywalker. Excuse me. All right, it's time for me to go to sleep. I don't want to go to sleep. I do want to go to sleep. Okay, all right. Oh my gosh. My computer is doing that thing where it scrolls up by itself again. So, like my mom had a white collar job, so I'm a kid with a hyphenate last name. That's funny. All right, I will catch you all later. Have an excellent one, and may you find flow in the greater flow, and in the grander flow, and in the flow from which all things flow.